So it starts off and Peter's already pissing me off. He's standing in a jewelry store trying to pick out an engagement ring to propose to the girl he loves. We talking about the same MJ? This is Mary Jane Watson? Look at the way the owner is smiling at him. Even he knows this is a free lick. But to stop a no refund policy on that ring so that Peter has no chance of returning it. He just walked out of class after seeing Gwen Stacy in the front row looking back at him. And he still wants to go back home to MJ. Not only is she a serial cheater, but she's about to be in the kitchen talking about some, honey, dinner is ready. And try to convince her the chicken was seasoned. Bitch, this food is food poisoning on a plate. Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Who told this man to settle? He was just boxing Doc Ock all throughout the city up on that train trying to save the people of New York so that they can be free of danger and have to go back to worrying about how they're going to pay the rent of the shoebox they're living in. Only in New York where you find an apartment going for $4K a month with 1 bed, 1 bath, and the only place to lay your mattress is outside. He goes to her performance and is mesmerized, seeing her walk down those stairs in that dress while Harry is up above plotting some devious, looking down at the stage with his binoculars. And when he moves them away, he sees Peter in the crowd and is giving him the side eye. And he went from smiling to looking like an 8-year-old who just tasted Brussels sprouts. Seeing Peter's face ruined his whole week, just like some dudes that be hating on their girlfriends. Every time she calls, they be ready to throw the phone out the window, acting like they a slave and can't break up with her. Ain't no one told your black ass to date a snow bunny and reenact 12 years a slave. Peter sees Harry and he's trying to make things right between them. But Harry just turns around and is like, talk to my father. Raise him from the dead, and then he just leaves. I thought he was about to give Peter his dad's number. Harry got so mad after seeing Peter at the performance that he went back home and decided that was all the motivation he needed to turn into a villain. Peter's presence done ruined Harry's whole year. I never realized Peter was that chopped. Harry was so locked in that he walked out the fog in nothing but boxers. Ain't care about the camera or nothing. Out here moving like Shannon Sharp, but got called James Charles's twin one too many times, and is going to pretend that he didn't purposely go live on IG. We know his ass went into that app, pressed the live button to clear up the rumors. So because Peter is broke and can't even afford a hot dog, he goes to see Aunt May, who gives him a ring to give to MJ. Aunt May looks like she's been alive for 2 centuries. I thought she was supposed to have some wisdom. Why is she just giving this nigga the ring? I would have been like, you sure you want to propose to Mary Jane? Yes. You sure? Yes, auntie. Damn it. I raised a fool. But he's on his way back home, and Harry must have heard the news and added it to the list of why he needs to beat up Peter. Swooped in, someone knocked his helmet off and dragged him up in the air before Peter hits him with a right, left. Harry told him to cut it out and starts holding him to the ear like a baby and makes Peter crash into the structure. Got me wondering who gave Harry his license. He done crashed into a building and now has Peter getting dragged through metal. Dudes be doing everything except having their eyes on the road. Harry headbutts Peter, tells him his breath stinks, he needs to close his mouth, and copies a move from another New York resident. The Shredder pulls out the blades and slashes Peter, which has him screaming. Not in pain, but because he had to max out his credit card just to afford this suit. He manages to get away from Harry, flipping off his back with elite skydiving form, and starts shooting webs in his direction. Equipped the switch and started blasting.
Man, I got a GN5 with a binary trigger switch on the back of that big twin.
Sorry, sir.
I'm itching to shoot that big twin.
But those first few shots were terrible. Made Harry turn into a break dancer. Was putting out moves Michael Jackson wasn't even doing. Hits the 360 spin move on the board to then glide down and use the bottom of the board to block 2 shots like an ugly girl caught blocking her friend. And hits 2 clean weaves. And I'm crying. This man Peter is full on serious. I would have gave up after the first 5 shots. You got me swinging off a tower thousands of feet in the air in the middle of the night with this cold wind blowing in my face. Y'all should have called up Nick Cannon. He don't miss. Peter manages to hit Harry with some webs, and he was appalled that a man would even dare shoot white stuff out his body onto the bro's face. So he pulls out the knives and cuts the web, which has Peter twirling and falling. But Harry wanted his get back. Hit bro into the wall, making a nice Peter Parker shaped hole between the bricks. I started posing for some IG flicks, captioned tough as hell too. Mary Jane's cheating ass was the first one to comment. Harry, you deserve this. Throwing a punch that Peter dodges and has him stuck in the wall and looking up at this man who's upside down. Bro can never do anything normally. Harry, it's not my fault your dad didn't love you. He told me all the money in his will was supposed to go to charity. And Harry couldn't believe his ears. What you mean charity? Pushing a huge chunk off the wall and onto Peter that's falling down. And when Peter looks behind him, Harry then spawned in trying to end him, and he wasn't letting Peter escape. Saw that he was trying to run from the fade and told him he's not going anywhere. Also wanted Messi and Ronaldo as new investors in his company and put out a perfect volley kick to pass the ball to himself. It has Peter falling down again, but this time all hope is lost. I'm seeing his face on the way down to the stinky streets of New York, and with every frame he looks more and more scared. Forget about buying a new suit, he's gonna have to buy a change of underwear. But Harry still wasn't done. He needed his ass beating to be generational. Catches Peter by the leg, holding him like how I hold my chicken, and started dragging him through the building, bouncing off the bricks like a basketball and shaking up his brain. Harry heard MJ call Peter a nerd and figured out a way to dumb him down, reduce his IQ, and threw him through an office window. And now Peter is about to lose the ring that he wants to give to MJ. And right when he's about to catch it, Harry tackles him away. You already know I was hyped seeing this. I don't want him to lose the ring that his Aunt May gave him, but my dislike for MJ is on the same level as the reverse flash hitting on Barry Allen. Harry starts to choke him out, whispering in his ear, telling him to go sleep. gets webbed in the face and elbowed back, and Peter does a spin move, stepped on his kicks, and went for the Olympic record in shot put. He's still mad that Harry ripped his fit. He shoots web to attach to the building and proceeds to use them as a catapult to launch himself down towards the engagement ring. But Harry had already programmed his board to project.
No, nigga!
We're not letting you get engaged. Flying down to catch Harry and dash towards the MJ lover, turning into Anthony, doing some useless spin moves and knocking Peter away. But this time Peter managed to catch the ring, which is why he has that smirk on his face. But then he sees the fighter jet coming his way and had to wipe that shit off, gets the sprinting, turn into Usain Bolt and dies down. Someone signed him up for the Olympics. He's out here doing shot put, the 100-meter dash, and even dove into the water like Michael Phelps. Harry's looking lost trying to find Peter and looks down to see him swinging through the city. Said, "Oh nah, get your monkey ass back over here, Tarzan." Immediately heads down there and gets to chasing Peter, who turns into Wanda from Snowfall. Sees a crack and doesn't hesitate to pursue it. And this is when Harry had to show us his skateboarding moves, turns the board and then goes over the pole to then duck under the vent. Catches up to Peter and pulls out a sword and tries to cut off his legs. He's trying to make Peter shorter, turn him into Kai Cenat, just swinging relentlessly. Peter had to grab on and swing away, just for Harry to show us that when he boots up Super Smash Bros, his main was Link. Didn't even change the form, said "Give me that shit," and copied the move. Would have thought that he was Link himself. I know Link is laid up next to Zelda watching this like Soldier Boy.
My bar! Shit. He copied my whole fucking flow! That gets me through the phone! He copied my whole fucking flow!
Harry then decides to stop playing around, throws a bomb in Peter's direction, and was like, throwing a load more equipped with that heat seeker, chasing him down and cutting his back, turning him into Dave Chappelle, before jumping off a pipe and swinging back into Harry's direction. He's looking at Peter confused, not realizing that the weapons he just threw are coming back in his direction, having to try and dodge them, but gets stabbed in the chest, rips it out, and kicks into high gear, and he's on Peter's ass. Both started getting annoyed. Look at his face! We've been at this for like 5 minutes now. You moving like a jealous ex-Harry, being all emotional and shit. It isn't that serious. Shooting the pumpkin bombs and grabs onto one to swing back in the opposite direction to cause an explosion. Harry comes out that bit looking like the dollar store Silver Surfer and gets bamboozled, running into Peter's web trap, knocking his cranium onto a pipe and crash landing onto the dirty ground. Luckily, when he woke up, he couldn't remember anything. Imagine waking up from that, knowing his villainous outfit was dipped in sewer water like some sweet potato fries and sauce. I would have hung up my boots and retired that same day, moving like David Beckham's son retiring at the age of 22. Would have told Peter to get his dirty mittens off me. He's the reason I'm in this predicament. Can't even show my face around my peers no more. About to get a call from the Shocker talking about some, "Oh, you see, I told you Spider-Man is mean." Comes the way he got chased off that building. After that fight, Flint Marco was next up in the participation in the Hood Olympics, getting chased down by dogs. And when he reached the fence, a dog jumps on him and he told her to go back to the pound, smack the shit out of the dog, and got to climbing the fence and makes her run into a pit full of sand. And you know the rest. He becomes Sandman, the living embodiment of that one meme.
Ugly motherfucker. You look like you eat sand. Fried sand.
We move on to Peter, and I've got to talk about this scene right here. MJ walks in holding a paper with the review of her show, and I honestly thought the review was pretty fair. The young Miss Watson had a voice that resembles fingernails on a chalkboard and needs to learn how to keep her pants on. Shit! You sure Shakespeare didn't write that review? And the most annoying part is even though Peter is trying to make her feel better about her performance, she looks like she's seen a ghost, looking at Peter as if he was Mike Myers or Freddy Krueger. And then he's like, "Look, it's okay. Spider-Man gets attacked all the time. It's part of the job." And she's like, Peter, this isn't about you. It's about me. Look, all I'm saying is that a trash can won't cheat on you. I won't make you feel like shit. Peter could get stabbed and she'd be like, Peter, are you okay? Doesn't look like I'm okay. I just got stabbed. I'm in pain. Peter, stop it, all that groaning and complaining. This isn't about you. Think about how I feel. Anyway, Spider-Man makes his way over to a scene to help out. There's a crane that's going through a building, destroying everything. Gwen Stacy's up there in danger, looking like she's about to fall. That's my daughter. What? I just saw her last night. Last night? Oh yeah, we used a bottle of oil and listened to On the Hotline by Pretty Ricky. Gwen is extremely close to falling, and Peter had just left the apartment after having an argument with MJ. So choice was either to go back to his girl being mad at him and paying $50K a month to live in a dump, or put on a suit and save a baddie in distress. You bet he's swinging over there with swag and elegance, elite efficiency. Spots the baddie and dives down through the crane, even jumping off some rubble to reach out to grab onto Gwen before she gets crushed, and swings her down to the ground. And this is when he meets Eddie Brock, taking pics of him, telling him that Peter Parker's work is trash. Bro couldn't take the disrespect, had to swing off into the horizon. Y'all ain't peep the crazy angles he be getting of Spider-Man mid-air. He puts in work. Peter decides to go meet up with Harry, and trust me, Peter is in no rush for Harry to get his memory back. Gave bro a basketball and started talking about the old days on the court. This man Peter hasn't hooped a day in his life, and if he did, we already know he was throwing up straight bricks, building Section 8 homes. Harry is bouncing the basketball looking like CTE made him forget how to dribble. Shit looked like it hurts. These two the worst hoop duo I've ever seen. That serum and them spider powers not saving them. Peter goes to the Spider-Man parade and is hugging MJ with a smile on his face, cause she don't know what's about to happen, but to have her puking for weeks. The get back is gonna feed families. He comes in swinging towards the stage and comes down upside down and proceeds to kiss Gwen, which has her running away, not being able to watch. And I know this video seems like it's just me hating on Mary Jane, but it's not like you can blame me. But don't worry, we're gonna get right back to the box. Peter finds out that his Uncle Ben was actually shot by Flint Marco, also known as Sandman, and that's when the Venom symbiote decided to get on young nigga timing. Told Peter to put on the shiesty and gave him a black suit. Had him looking at his reflection and flexing his gains. Felt the power boost that comes with being black. If he went back to try out for a varsity basketball team, I bet he would get picked. He dives down looking for Sandman. He don't really got a plan. He just gonna follow him and pummel him so much that he gets close to looking up at Uncle Ben. Uses those newfound African genes to rip out the concrete, takes Eddie's camera out of his hands and smashes it against the wall. Ugly ass nigga. And jumps down the sewer to reunite with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Flint is walking down the train line and he senses a disturbance. Looks behind him, and when he finally decides to turn back around, gets jump scared by a black Spider-Man. Had to swing at him, no questions asked. Sandman is 100% racist. When Spider-Man first showed up at that truck, bro said, "I don't wanna hurt you." When a black suit Spider-Man pulls up on him, all of a sudden he's swinging first, asking questions later. You remember Ben Parker? Yeah, his old ass was 105 years old. It was time for him to go. Spider-Man shoots his web onto the train and dribbles Sandman off the ground and back into the air, making him land on his back onto a beam. Isn't bro made out of sand? How did that even connect? He must still be in shock seeing a black Spider-Man. Don't let this man anywhere near Miles Morales. Getting back up and seeing Spider-Man coming right at him, kicking him in the stomach and backhanding him away like a misbehaving child. Must have forgot to take the chicken out of the freezer. Landing onto the train track, hearing Thomas the train on its way and having to backflip out of there and doing some parkour around the pipes to make his way behind Sandman and kicks him face first to the train. Had him standing with his arms out looking like Crollo from Hunter x Hunter, cooking up an evil plan. And after smacking his lip against the train and his forehead onto the ground, he's laying there pretending to sleep, hoping that Spider-Man leaves him alone. He's already foiled his plans. You might as well let him go home now. You beat him up enough. And I can't even blame him for robbing the place. I've seen him in that same shirt and pants for a week straight, looking like the dude from Blue's Clues. Peter picks him up and started acting like one of them barbers that be charging 70 bucks a cut. Heard Sandman say a little bit off the top and got to work shaving down his skull. And when the work was done, he said, "Just upon with these new barbers. Look at this man's head. You're lucky if I even give you a pack of Skittles as payment." Marco fixes his hairline himself and tells Peter to go sign a contract with FC Unemployment. He's fired, hitting him backwards, making him smack and pinball off the trains before coming back and getting rocked, bounce off the glass, the ground, and getting his revenge. Made Sandman look at the camera, having me look behind to see who he's looking at. Cause it ain't me. I'm not helping you, bro. A nigga like me, if you tell me that the only way I'm getting out of prison is I have to fight Black Suit Spider-Man, I'm willingly putting myself back behind bars. I'm getting free food, free housing, and free entertainment. The only thing worse than having to fight Black Suit Spider-Man is having to fight Batman. Cause after he wraps you up and breaks your arms and legs just because he felt like it, you have to go back home to your apartment in Gotham. That's gotta be torture. Sandman gets his head shattered against the train, and Spider-Man sends a right to his jaw. Falls down, gets hit back with a right, and falls into a pipe. And at this point, I'm like,
Stop! He's already dead.
Cause Flint is out here grinning his teeth in pain. They've got this man going through it, and he's still getting haymakers sent to his head top and knee to his chin, falling headfirst into the sewer water. And after all that, this man is only worried about the bread, moving like Kakuzu, only worried about them bands. Only a Katsuki member with a jutsu called infinite motion. But he quickly realizes that water and sand ain't the best mix, while Spider-Man is swinging down yelling like a maniac, stomping onto the water pipe, and looks Sandman directly in the eyes, gave him that look telling him it's about to be over. He's about to be turned into mud real soon. Spider-Man lifts up the bolts from the pipe, unleashing the water onto Sandman and drowning him, flushing him away down the drain. We move on, and Harry finally gets his memory back and decides to pull up on Mary Jane, grabbing her by the neck and pinning her against the wall, telling her to call Peter to backdoor him. And that's all she needed to hear. Told Harry to move aside, let her cook. Hauled up Peter onto the bridge and broke up with him. All she needed was her reason. Peter tried to go talk to Harry about it, since he didn't know that bro got his memories back. So Harry gives him some advice. Why don't you go to the dark side? Chocolate tastes good too. What you talking about, bro? You know, have you ever seen Lauren London? She looks mad good. What? Peter started crying. He couldn't believe what Harry was saying. He had to walk out of there before he said something he might regret. I don't know about him, but if someone sat in front of me telling me I have a chance with Lauren London, I would have been like, yo bro, you know I can set you up with Lauren London. Say no more. I wasn't say no more. But Peter heard the black suit calling his name and put up on Harry expeditiously. We were just talking about our hoop dreams, and now you're trying to get with my girl? I know she's for the community, but we're supposed to be bros. We could have game shared her. No need for you to steal her. Harry turns around and walks up towards Peter, talking about his special night with MJ. And Peter socked him in his lip. He about to wake up looking like he's got something similar to that Magic Johnson disease. Hits him with a left. That's for MJ, even though she cheated on me 15 other times, and gets stabbed. I'm left wondering where he's hiding all these sharp objects, because even when Peter manages to grab him, Harry pops out the razor blades on his arm and tries to take off his head and got his neck snapped and punched to the wall while him looking like a zombie. Looks back up and swings at Peter not once but twice. Rocked him in the jaw and tried to catch him off guard. Peter got his eyes looking down, looking outraged that he even tried that shit. Pushed the razors away and forgot that Harry has 2 arms. Catches another left to the face and almost got pinned to the column. Had to break them off, we tired of them hacks and upgrades. Same niggas that claim they can fight but pull the trigger at the first sign of a disagreement. Whole time, they were arguing over who should get to eat the pack of Oreos. Stopped him for not fighting fair and got his backhand caught and got kicked to the table. Peter gets back up on some, "Is that all you've got?" Taunting a man who's been dragged through more than just dirt. Catches a right hook but gets blocked and kicked through some glass. "I protected you in high school and now I'm gonna kick your little ass."
Definitely concerns me a little bit, you know what I mean? But, you know, I packed that thing too, so you come around this way, you will get caught.
Running back in, charging headfirst and gets tossed away. Dodge, weave, get good, shut up. Grabs him and launches him, smacking his head onto the upper floor and falling onto the table. Clearly, Peter is trying to kill the man. I wouldn't even be surprised if this sequence wasn't in the script. Listen to the sound he makes hitting the ceiling. I'm gonna need that suit back, Peter, you wildin'. Harry charges back towards Peter and gets tackled into the next room and starts making a run for it. Dashing towards his sword and starts swinging without a care in the world, damaging his own laptop, which causes his glider to wreak havoc in the lab. And Harry swings at Peter's head, then his feet. And Peter remembered how Norman got bodied and wanted to make it a family tradition. Pushes Harry up in the air and makes the board send him flying into the wall and starts telling Harry to man up. His dad ain't even love him anyways. He acting like a child crying over a deadbeat. Only reason he ain't left is cause the store ran out of milk. Harry gets back up and gets told to sit back down. It's past his bedtime. And when Peter finally decides to leave and walk away, Harry said, "Oh, nah, little bro, where you off to?" Throwing a bomb at Peter that gets sent right back to his dome and blows up in his face. And I find it kind of crazy how Peter just walks off. You're not even gonna poke his body? See if he's still breathing? This is egregious work. But it was time for him to let go of the suit, hang up the jersey and go back to his old self. He's done enough damage. It was a spectacular season. Had Eddie Brock up in a church praying on his downfall. Who really rocks into a church, dips their fingertips in holy water, and proceeds to sit down and ask for someone else to die? This is some evil shit even King Von wouldn't have done. This man Eddie Brock shouldn't be allowed roaming the streets. Anyways, after Eddie Brock becomes Venom, he pulls up on Sandman and they discuss the play. They want to team up and jump Spider-Man. And their plan was to capture Mary Jane in a taxi and have her dangling in the air. They're not motivating me enough. I need me a baddie that's in peril. Y'all wasting my time. And Peter pulls back up on Harry, who turns around and, oh shit. Someone needs to iron that out, gang. Spider-Man swings onto the scene ready to help MJ, but when he lands onto the taxi, he gets 2-footed kicked by Venom, turning the taxi to a convertible. Eddie picks up Mary Jane, and when Spider-Man jumps at him, he puts bro to sleep, slapping him 40 feet down, handcuffing him to the webs, falling down, landing on his ribcage, and ripping off his mask. Eddie's talking about his sad life that no one cares about, just hurting my ears with useless information. While there's a dump truck with cinder blocks flying out the back towards MJ, and Peter is struggling to set himself free from the webs. When Venom is getting ready to end him, Mary Jane drops one of the cinder blocks on his head top. But the real question is, what if Venom just moved out the way of the cinder block? It would have landed on Peter's dome, yet he still dropped it with no hesitation. Peter grabs onto Venom, and once he smelled that hot breath, told him he needed some mint. And now they're falling down, punching one and the other kicks the chin. And we've already seen that Spider-Man's web shooter barely works, but Peter decided it would be a good idea to try it again, spamming webs at a Venom that all get caught in his net. Told bro to come here, kicked him again, and slapped him back to reality. Shouldn't have tried that web shooter trick on him. Pulls him back in and punches him towards the ground. And Peter barely manages to save himself from falling. Just for him to look up and see a dump truck falling down on MJ. She ended up having to save herself from that collision, jumping out of the taxi and catching onto one of the webs. He's not gonna hear the end of this. Gonna be 99 years old, still hearing about this same moment. You were never there for me when I needed you the most. Remember when I had to save myself from doom by jumping out of the taxi 80 stories high? I should have left your ass up there. But when Spider-Man is getting ready to get back up there, he gets surprised by Sandman, who straight away sends a right punch in his direction. Spider-Man's out there trying to get back up towards MJ, but Sandman shakes the building, which causes MJ to fall down even further. And Venom saw the way Spider-Man was moving, making his way up the building, and he cut off all hope. I remind him that dessert comes after the main course, taking him down one more time, making him land on a beam. You've done put this man in another Olympic sport, but have him like Simone Biles on the beam. Spider-Man turns around to see Sandman looking at him, and now that I've got a closer look, bro's kinda chopped. And all of a sudden, he's built like Rod Wave. Venom comes from behind to choke him out, and Sandman crushes him with his fist, just pummeling him non-stop. Even reaching out his hand towards MJ, and Flip was not having it. Even I couldn't watch anymore, but then out of nowhere, Sandman gets his head blown off, and we see Harry put up smacking Venom back to his planet and giving his hand to Peter. It took a while, but I ain't mad at it. Now I need y'all to pack up Eddie for me. Spider-Man is facing Venom, and Harry is facing Sandman. They didn't like the matchups and created a new play. Harry grabs on and throws Peter into Venom, and uses the flames from his glide to turn Sandman to glass and shatter his arm. They're already out there moving clean. Spider-Man pulls Harry out of danger and trick shots him back onto his board. Look at the teamwork to get up top to save MJ. Even when they just miss her and go diving down, Harry is surfing on Sandman, and Peter is throwing himself headfirst to save her.
That's what I'm talking about. This This shit means something to me, man.
They get back to the fight as Spider-Man gets punched away. So Harry has to show off and carry for a bit, sending missiles right at Flynn and sends him stumbling back. But it turns out that they're back in the original 1v1. This might be a mismatch. Venom snatches Peter and turns his brain into scrambled eggs, rebounding off the beam and hitting him away. No wonder his back was hurting in No Way Home. They got Peter getting launched and tossed over crazy distances, and they don't even be giving him a break. Bro's about to be 40 walking with a cane. Venom holds him up and hits him with the and goes for the extra free hits, unleashing a combo. And Peter starts with a cliche superhero main character speech trying to convince the villain to be better. Eddie, no! This isn't you. You've heard this 1,000 times. Only problem is that Peter ain't Naruto. His techno jutsu ain't gonna work. I'm getting ready to send Peter to his uncle, but gets stopped by Harry, who comes flying through, getting weaved, and his glider gets took. And what's up with Harry getting launched headfirst into things? This is the 3rd time this movie. Harry falls down and the sound from the pipes are disturbing the symbiote. Peter realizes this and has an idea, but before he can even get a chance to act on it, Venom is going for the kill, jumping down at Peter, and Harry puts himself in harm's way and gets stabbed instead and thrown away like some trash. Peter uses as motivation, broke out from the webs and hit a home run and put his idea to good use, picked up the metal pipes and used the sound from the pipes to disturb the symbiote and pull Eddie Brock from out of there. The sound must have sounded like Taylor Swift's music. And throws a bomb. But look at this fool. Bro needs some decorum. It's not that serious, bro. And the symbiote blows up, bringing Eddie down with it.